How's everyone doing today? So happy for you to join us today on this Friday night. We know there's a lot of other possibilities for a Friday night, like Netflix. And we appreciate you taking your time off Netflix to be here with us. I want to say, before I forget, I want to give a huge thank you to Brandon. This guy's doing such amazing thing in this place. You don't know how hard it is. You don't know how hard it is to do this, you know, to keep like an art found, you know, an art facility, let's call it, you know, keep, you know, going and have great equipment here and sound. Last time I was here, he had an older piano and he was like, cool, I gotta replace the piano, found the money to do it, and now we have a great piano here. It's just, this guy is like a superhero of mine, you know? Nothing stops him, he just keeps moving forward, and he deserves a clap for that, you know? He's doing so much for the community. Really. And it's a family-owned business. I know his son Sam very well. He's now in Boston, right? He's now in Boston doing amazing things. This is a real mom and pop shop, you know, in that kind of, yeah. And it's just, seriously, just a beacon of, you know, positivity around here, you know? And we're so happy to be here, you know? I know these guys hate to, no, just kidding. They love being here. We've been here many times. I want to introduce these guys to you. These are some of my favorite musicians in the world, and I mean, they live in Florida, but they're actually not here that much, you know. Vince plays with Russell Malone, and he just came back from New York. He's touring all around. He's one of the best bass players really out there right now, and he moved to Miami about a year ago now, or a little over, and we're so happy to have him here. That's Vince the Pont on the bass. This guy really doesn't need that much of an introduction. We all know him. He has a band called the Smoogies with some other amazing, you know, musicians that I play with regularly. Please go and check him out and support, you know, this music that we're making in Florida. You know, it kind of feels like we need more support for the arts right now. We always do, you know, but it feels like we need it now more than ever. I feel like, you know, kind of feels like it, especially in Miami. So yeah, go and check out this music that these guys are making. And of course, that's the one and only David Sheridan on the drums. I do have some CDs, well, vinyl I'm selling. If you buy it, I can send you a download link. It's a really special duo project that I did with actually a musician that played here before. You know, one of the most incredible trumpet players, composers, everything. I admire this guy so much. His name is John DeVersa, and he's the head of UM and many other things. And he's just one of the most creative, fearless musicians I've ever met in my life. And we did a duo album about a year ago, and we're really happy with how it's going in this project. We've been touring it all around the country and sometimes out of the country, and it's available here for the simple price of $30, you know. And it's really one of the best ways to support the artists is actually to buy the merchandise, because it actually goes directly to us. Anyway, that's enough business for today. Again, I appreciate you coming here. This next tune is an original of mine, dedicated to the great composer, pianist, not so well known by the name of Cedar Walton. The musicians know him, but beyond that, no. My name is Tal Cohen. Thank you so much for coming. How about David Shiverton on the drums? Maybe you guys didn't hear me. That's David Shiverton on the drums. Come on. That's Vince DuPont on the bass. We're having a lot of fun here. This music is supposed to open your mind. And this next tune will do it to you. You know? We're gonna play one long set today and keep you entertained for the whole time, hopefully, and get you back to Netflix. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But again, I really want to give a huge another round of applause. Like every time I come here, there's like new things going on here. I haven't seen this thing before. This thing's new, right, Brendan? Oh, yeah, I haven't seen this thing before. So every time I come here, there's like something new, and it's just totally moving forward. So yeah, Brandon, I don't know how you're doing this, man. Let's give him another clap. New piano. And this next tune is a tune that, I grew up in Israel, and no one from Israel is actually from Israel because, there's only 2 generations, maybe 3 from Israel. The rest are Eastern European or European of some sort, or Moroccan or something. And my grandma's from Bulgaria, and with her she brought this delicacy from Bulgaria, and I ate it a lot as a young kid, and it totally sucks. It's terrible. It's called ghee vetch, if you haven't heard it. It's a mixture of eggplants and zucchinis and all these terrible things. And it's I had to eat it a lot as a child, and it scarred me so badly that I had to write a tune about it. And this is ghee vetch, which is a mixture of, it's kind of the craziest tune on the set, and it just kind of flows. This is ghee vetch. Thank you so much. That was Gavetch. How about David Shivert on the drum? He totally killed that. You know, this is, I think, maybe the second time or the third time that Vince has played this music. We did a few concerts already, but, you know, not a lot of it. And this guy's memorized it all. And, man, talk about professional, you know? I don't know if I would have done that. Just killing it up here. We're having a great time playing here. You know, while I'm at it, when I was, you know, growing up in Israel, as I said before, I won't talk too long, don't worry. There was this thing that we did. I mean, you know, at the time it seemed like such a hassle, and I hated it, but now I kind of miss it. Isn't that a thing? We used to, you know, there was like 3 or 4 of us that used to play piano. We were like 6 or 7 years old, and we had like a classical teacher, and, you know, used to hit our hand. No, just kidding. But it was like 3 of us in the same neighborhood, and we were all very inspired, and we, you know, kind of was checking out what everyone was learning, and, you know, like kind of, oh, he's playing, you know, Beethoven, I'll play, you know, we're all like kind of in the same zone, and we would show each other how to play and all that. And then every like 2 or 3 months, we did a concert in someone's backyard, you know, and all the kids would get together and play, and we'll prepare something, and there'll be like 3 or 4 keyboards, and I'll stop, and he'll start, you know, we just prepared something. And, you know, all the parents used to come and people from the neighborhood, and we did it like on the regular. And, you know, it was kind of a hassle at the time. You're like, okay, I got to do this thing. But, you know, we just kind of used to get together and listen to music, you know? And that's not happening as much anymore, you know? Just kind of getting together and, you know, playing something or listening to music or something. We're also busy now on our phones. I'm guilty too, you know? You know, so it's so nice to kind of be here and gather for music, you know. I mean, there's still a lot of concerts going on, that's what I'm saying, but this feels like very much like a community, neighborhood kind of thing. And that's, again, thanks to Brandon. But beyond that, I think, like as I said before, this thing that's happening right here is exactly what we need more of. And it brings all of us together and breaks us away from our, you know, wherever we are in life, and, you know, talk about bad food and, you know, and other things like that, and takes you a little bit away of your life. It's a little bit of a holiday, you know. So it's so cool to be here and do that. And, you know, that's kind of what I grew up with, I suppose, is what I'm saying. And, you know, if someone wants to host a concert in the backyard, I suppose I'll say I'll be there. So this is going to be our last tune for tonight. We really appreciate you coming. We hope we've taken you on some kind of a musical journey and that you've enjoyed it. One more time. That's David Shiverton on the drums, Vince Dupont on the bass. I do have some albums for sale, and we're gonna play one more for you. This is our last tune for tonight. It's a kind of a Balkan Israeli tune. It's an Israeli melody that I adopted into this Bulgarian, Israeli, Eastern European, call it whatever you want, kind of a Balkan rhythm. Again, not going to talk anymore, but David Shiverton, Vince Dupont, so happy to be here. I do have some CDs available, vinyl available. I can send you the download link of a project I'm very proud of. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for coming. Follow us on Instagram. That's really the best way to communicating these days. Instagram, Facebook, and check out what we're doing. We really appreciate it. Brandon, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I've been here so many times, and it's just such a great thing to see this place always move forward with all the obstacles in the way. You're always providing. My name is Tal Cohen. Thank you so much.